This is Mark Harrington from GoForForexProfits.com. This is the next in my series of videos covering basic investing techniques. In this video, I'm going to look at market scanning for ideas outside of the United States. You'll recall the last video I covered United States stocks using a tool called finviz.com. I've found a tool that's operated by the Financial Times that allows me to get to a lot of what finviz.com does, just a little more complicated. Let's just step back, and I'm going to do it for Japan because I have a need to go through this for my portfolio. So let's just step across and have a look at what my portfolio is. I bought shares in Japan about 12 months ago, and it's time to do a review. And the basic process that I follow in all my investing is I start by buying the index. So there you'll see I've bought the top 30. I've bought an index of small cap companies, and I also bought at the same time, we recognized that the two sectors that were performing considerably below book value were insurance companies and banks. So here I have an ETF that tracks financial companies, so that's basically financials, excluding banks, and I picked one bank. Basically what we did is we looked at this as all the banks perform pretty much the same, so I just picked one bank, Mitsubishi UFJ Financial Group. So that's typically what I do. The second step I go through is I identify companies that I think are undervalued and add them into the portfolio, and the technique I use is price to book value. So, and that's where these other companies have come from, and these are sorted in order of performance. And what's really encouraging is that my overall portfolio has done 22%. The index of large cap companies has done 11%. Small cap companies has done 17%. So I am doing better than the index. So these are better than the index. So my overall performance is better than the index of the market, and that is because I have been able to identify stocks that have outperformed the market. So, and I'm about due to go through the next stage of my investing process. So what I will do is I will sell that one. I will leave the financials in place. I will leave these ones in here because they may have more place to go, and I will sell these two indexes. I may leave the small caps one in for different reasons, but I'm certainly sell the main index. So basically what I'm looking to do is to replace these amounts, to go and find maybe another 3 positions to replace those amounts. I do need to review this one here, which has performed below the market. It published results about 2 weeks ago, and they were disappointing. So let's just step to the process that I will follow. Now what I've got here is I'm just going to show very quickly, this is my last screen. This is a watch list on the last screen. It's markets.ft.com. It's a free service, although you do need to log in to be able to save watch lists and portfolios. So this is a watch list. It's called, you can see it was done in May of last year. And this one is actually, you can sort these in any order. Not very many companies in the list. And the data in here is, well, it was sorted by market cap and by price to book ratio. So we can sort it by company, and we can sort it by 1 year charts. And I'm just going to do it in reverse order just for a reason here. So this company here, which appeared on the screen, Tokyo Electric Power Company, well, that's the company that operates the Fukushima power station, has had a not very good year. Rico has had a not very good year. Tokyo Gas. So we can see the utility companies have not performed particularly well. And then we see the first of the motor companies is Mazda Motor Company has not done as well, but the ones at the top have done particularly well. These are Dai-ichi Life is a life insurance company. T&D Holdings is a property management company. I think Rizona is a bank. Mitsubishi UFJ is the bank. Sumitomo. These are all financial companies. So these have all done particularly well year to date. And Isuzu Motors has done the best of the motor companies. So that's just the summary of where I was. So let's just go through the steps that we're going to go through to do this. I'm going to start with a blank sheet of paper. So it's markets.ft.com, and it allows you to, and it's got a portfolio of 37,000 stocks. It allows to go by country. So I'll go to Asia, pick Japan. So that'll do just fine. Sector and industry is because of what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave out those utility companies who are not doing particularly well, and I have strong investments already in oil and gas producers. So I'm going to only pick oil equipment, services and distribution. Just make sure I actually don't want those. So telecommunications, I want all of those. Tech companies, I want all. Oil and gas, I just want that one sector. All industrials, happy with. Healthcare, happy with. Financials, I'll choose them all for now. Consumer services, all. Consumer goods, all. Basic materials, all. So that says I've got 35 industry sectors that I'm looking at. And then the equity attributes, I'm going to go market cap I'm interested in. I'm going to remove beta. I'm going to remove different yield. I will remove, and I'm going to add a criteria which is evaluation multiples of price to book value. And then I'm going to put in 0 to 1. That's the price to book value ratio that I'm going to use. And then market cap. This has a convenient little slider here. I want this in US dollars, and I'm going to choose companies from, it's actually quite a low level. $6.7 billion, maybe need to go a little bit lower than that. There's a reason for this being, I'm trying to capture one of the stocks I already hold. So there will be 43 companies on my list. Hit go. And then it produces a list. It produces them in alphabetical order by company name. Asahi Glass is on the top. We can see we've got a mixture of industrials, financials, consumer services, price to book ratios, and there in the market caps are shown. So I could just press this and sort the table. So Mitsubishi UFJ is the largest of these companies, and we can also go down to the smallest. We can see what the smallest is. It's 4.65 billion. We can sort by price to book ratio. So that is the highest of them all. And then what I'm really interested in is I'm going to then construct a portfolio of ideas from the bottom, and you'll see the ones that are performing, that still have the lowest price to book ratios, all the financials first, and then we'll see have things like Ricoh and JFE Holdings. The financials are going to dominate, but we've got Dai Nippon Printing here and Top Hand Printing. And then the first of the this is a Toyota Industries company, it's not the motor company. And we'll see we've got 3 pages of results. So I'll show you just a quick technique for doing the chart comparisons. I can select the list. Basically, this will then select all of the companies that are on this page. You have to go through page by page to do that. And there's a button here called Add Selected to Watchlist and Select a Watch List. Now I have already done that, and then what you've got to do is that when you go and select page 2, you do exactly the same thing, is highlight the first of the top of the list, add them to the same watch list, and you will land up with a consolidated watch list. So I have done that here now. I've got a consolidated watch list. You can see here it's Japan 17th, 27 February the 21st. So that's today's date. And these are sorted in alphabetic order. Unfortunately, it loses the information about market market cap and price to book ratio, so you need to work with the two lists. That's why I've got the two sets of lists here. I just copied this link across. But what I like about this is that I can sort it by the 1 year chart and see which ones have done particularly well year to date and which ones have not done well year to date. And as I indicated on the last one, the candidates, we're looking for candidates that have shown that they've broken out rather than things that are still wrecked. So these utility companies, these first three utility companies are wrecked. For Rico, for me to put it on my list, I just need to dig in, try and just understand a little bit of what's actually going on. I have no idea what Ida Group Holdings does, and it has tried to break out and then has fallen back. So basically what I'll do is I'll keep working down this list and then start identifying, say, these are the ones that look good. So Concordia Financial Group I'll put on my list. Mazda Motor Corporation I'm going to put on my list because I'm going to replace Toyota. Toyota has performed quite well in my other portfolio. And so these will be the candidates that I start looking at. But and Japan Post is in the process of doing its IPO, so there's some interesting candidates there. Now, what the other thing I also do to make it more workable is from this list here, I cut and paste each one of these pages into a spreadsheet. Very simple process. I've cut and pasted into the spreadsheet. You do have to do a little bit of manipulation to get the stocks lined up, or all the text lined up. But I now have it here: ticker, company, sector, subsector, market cap, and price to book. Now, because what my plan was, as remember what I said to do, is I already have shares in Mitsubishi UFJ, which is my proxy for the banking sector. I already have a proxy for the non-bank financial sector. I am actually not going to add any more financials into my portfolio other than I will look at Japan Post. I will sort this thing in a little different way. At the moment, what's really important is, so I'm going to sort this for my own work purposes in two dimensions. So currently it's sorted in company order. Let's just bring the sort box across here so we can see what I'm doing. It's sorted by company. I'm going to change, so you can see my data has headers, so that's why the headers on the column. I am going to break this out by sector. And then I am going to then do it by price to book, and I want to go smallest to largest. So the reason that I'm doing that is that I can then just pick out so one is I can ignore all the financials, so ignore them completely. I can ignore the financials and then just pick out so these will become my candidates. Nippon Steel and Sumitomo I already have in my portfolio. It's starting to get close to the market. The market price to book is just under 1. And then I will look at Toyota Industries. Mazda Motor Corporation is better than Toyota. Toyota's market price to book is 1.2, so Mazda's got a little more space to go. Nissan Motor Company as well. So basically that's the process I will go through. So I'm going to look at each of those. But for someone just doing a first cut, the easiest thing to do is just to do it by price to book, smallest to largest, get rid of that, bang, and then just focus on these. So do one of these two. I'm very nervous of I certainly would not do TEPCO. Quite frankly, I'll do is just delete it straight away so I don't even think about doing it. So then you can sit there and say, well, how much bank exposure do I want? So the worst, this Mitsuo is the second largest bank, so maybe that's a good way to get exposure to the banks rather than to do it through Mitsubishi UFJ, which is where I am here. There's not much difference, 0.63 and 0.699. And then just work your way down the list and then pick half a dozen that you think will do the business for you. And then the last step to do is to actually put these onto charts and to study the charts in a little more detail. I use tradingview.com. It'll take a little while to load up. I have already created a folder of all my Japan Nippon Denko I already have in my portfolio. So this is actually my portfolio. But what I'll do with these is I'll just progressively go and add in the ones that are at the bottom. So if I look at, say, what did I say I wanted to look at? 6178. I will pop 6178 onto this screen. We're just bang in there 6178. It's a stock, Japan Post Holdings. From that one there, pop down there, and then I'll have a look at the chart and decide whether I like the shape of the chart. Yeah, and I do quite like the shape of that chart. Just remember this IPO'd over here, so we've got a trend line here. It's run down. Broken out, retested that level. Quite happy to add that into my portfolio, especially as if I do a purchase in the next couple of days before they start their next round of IPO processes. I will get access to buy shares at a preferential rate. So that's the process I will go through, is progressively just pick each of these stocks that I'm interested in as I go down this list, which is the next one that I'm interested in. Rico, let's just have a look at Rico. It's chart 7752. We know its chart has got some challenges in it. 7752 Rico, bang. And actually it's clearly had some issues, but again, downtrend, been broken, horizontal. So there's no reason not to add Rico to the list. Just do a little bit of due diligence to see how things are actually looking. So if I go back to the portfolio, here's Rico, and on markets.ft.com, it's got all the information here. You can see the chart. You can create a 3-year chart. So that's the sort of chart I quite like the look of. And then, but you can also go and dig into the financials and to see, is this business actually solvent? You can see how its revenue's been evolving. You can see how its net income's been evolving. So it is becoming profitable. Return on assets, return on equity. Return on equity is a bit low. It's cash flow. It is cash flow positive. It's got cash on its balance sheet. So there's plenty of reasons to. So those are the charts. But then you can actually look at the cash flow statements. You can actually look at the numbers. So then you just investigate the numbers. Numbers are reasonably up to date, March 31st, 2016. So it's the next data is only available in a month's time from now. We can see the evolution. You can see the nature of the problem. Net income has been dropping. But that's where so all the tools are available right here at your fingertips at markets.ft.com. So I hope that helps your processes. Just a quick summary of what we've gone through. So we've done a screening by country. We've chosen some sectors. We've looked at the equity attributes, so market caps. Over a certain size, I prefer larger companies. You manage the number of companies that are coming through the screen just by moving these sliders, and we're doing a price book between 0 and 1, and then we manipulated the results. And we're focused on the stocks with the lowest price to book as candidates to put into our portfolios. I appreciate your time. Thanks.